Hi girls, welcome back to Beautiful Daughters 99. I'm gonna go more like into body image for this one, like I said I was gonna do in the last and first video. So yeah. You've probably heard of this before, but I'm just gonna ask you this. Have you heard of an hourglass body? That's like a body shape, a body type that like some people have, and very clearly not everybody has it. And that's like the thing that every woman like tries to get or something, and like it's all that the media has. Like every single actress or model like is always the same thing. Like it's basically just like you have like wide hips and like shoulders, but like your waist is really small. Pretty much like that's just how some people's skeletal structure is. But there's also like other ones that a lot of other people have. It is like a really big majority. Anyway, that's pretty much like what people want, what the media tells you to have. And it's okay if you have that body type, and you've probably been stereotyped for having that body type, and that's also wrong and probably been harmful to your body image. And there's also still probably something that you don't like about yourself, even if you have whatever everybody says is the most beautiful thing in the world. There's probably something you don't like about yourself. And I don't want to, if you do have that sort of shape, like make you feel bad for having it, because that's totally fine, because that's just the way that you were created and how you look. So that's totally fine. But as for me, I don't really, it's not, I mean, I'm pretty much in the worst situation I possibly could be, because I don't have like a super small waist, and I don't really have very big curves. Like I'm just sort of, I'm more like a rectangle. Like my shoulders are the same as my hips, and my hips are the same as my waist. It's all just sort of like that, you know? So yeah, I'm really in a pretty bad situation, because, you know, it could be for you like, oh, maybe you don't feel like your curves are big enough, but you have a small waist, so it's okay. And maybe you don't have that small waist, but you have bigger curves, so like you feel fine, because like that's something I guess that people always talk about. But I like, just me specifically, my personal experience with this, and some of you probably are in the same boat that I am, none of it. Don't got one or the other. So it's sort of like, so how do we change that? And then it's like, but do we actually have to change that? And then it's like, can we change our body types? And I hate to crush your dreams, but you can't change your body type. Now, you can lose fat, you can lose weight, you can gain muscles, you can be very lean, you can gain weight, but you can't change your skeletal structure. That's just, it's not gonna work out too well for you. And so, yeah, like it's pretty much always the hourglass, like in this time, these past few years, multiple years, I don't know. There's, in different years of the world, there's been different things, I'm sure. It always changes. If it's not one thing, then it's something else, and then everybody's always after it, and it's what everybody portrays in the media as what everybody is supposed to look like. But as of right now, I can almost 100% say with certainty that it's the hourglass body shape. And sometimes, like, I mean, I've struggled with body image a lot, let's just be honest here. And, I've tried to do different things to maybe even sort of get that body shape, but nothing, that doesn't work that way. My bones are pretty much right here. I don't know if you can see where, like, doing that, but by my waist, my bones are like, I can press there, I can feel my muscles and bones right there. So, for me to try to lose weight and fat there would be really, like, not good. That would be really dangerous, because right underneath that is all of my intestines and organs. Like, my bones are literally right there. So, I don't want to lose anything there, because then it's just gonna be my bones and, like, not much skin, or, like, it's not gonna be healthy for me to lose weight there. And that means that I can't have an hourglass body, because I am a rectangle. I'm a rectangle. And it's my bone structure just goes like that. It doesn't go like this. It is physically impossible for me to change that. And however your bone structure is, it is physically impossible to change that. There's nothing you can do about that. Now, from my front, like, where my belly is, like, between, if you did, like, a side view of me, like, between to where my back is and where my belly is, like, it's possible for me to lose fat there. It's possible for me to lose weight there. And, I mean, depending on different health circumstances, like, sometimes it is the best thing for you to lose fat and weight, though I want to say that with carefulness, because sometimes it doesn't actually matter, but there are specific points where it can be unhealthy. But from here to here in a front view, I cannot make myself smaller that way. I'm sorry, but it just won't work. I would get very sick, and I would need to gain a lot more weight if I lost it from there, and it would not be good. It would not be good. So, I hate to say it, but you can't do what you want to do in that way. It's just not possible, and it is not healthy. Now, there are specific ways that we should be taking care of our bodies. I'm not going to tell you that you should just sit around being lazy, just on the couch, eating potato chips, watching TV 24/7, because that's not healthy. But eating a cup of spinach and doing 100 crunches and 100 squats and whatever also isn't healthy. So I'm just going to go in here with this verse from 1 Corinthians chapter 6, verses 19 through 20 from the CEB. You've probably heard it before. Or don't you know that your body is a temple of the Holy Spirit who is in you? Don't you know that you have the Holy Spirit from God and you don't belong to yourselves? You have been bought and paid for, so honor God with your body. Now, in this context, from what Paul's writing about, he's not really talking about body image, but this is a verse that you can take out of that context anyway. Some verses you can't really do that with, but with this one, no matter what context he's writing in, it is true that our bodies are temples to the Holy Spirit, and that we should honor God with our bodies. I mean, that just makes sense. He created us, and he created us in his image, and I mean, does that mean God looks like a human? I don't really know. I mean, Jesus was sent down in human form, so, like, Jesus looked like a human, Jesus was a human, but, like, does God look like a human? We don't really know. I mean, but whatever it is, God's image is love, because God is love, and I don't think there's anything more beautiful than that. So, yeah, I mean, being created in God's image is pretty wonderful, pretty beautiful, no matter what that looks like. And we should take care of that. And again, taking care of that is not like, oh, I'm gonna eat 1 cup of spinach or lettuce or, you know, a 1/4 cup of berries or something and do all this exercise and get rid of all of my energy and make me so tired at the end of the day that I can't barely do anything like that. That's not healthy. But again, also, even though you are so beautifully created in God, it doesn't give you a pass to just go laze around all day, because that also isn't going to do anything for you, and it's also not healthy. I feel like there should be a happy medium in between those two things, and there is. But I just want to make it clear that, like, you are beautiful. You are created in the image of God. God formed you and created you, and that's just it. And because of that, you should take care of yourself. So, how can we really take care of ourselves in the right way? It's going to depend on what your type of body is. Like, you could be a very slim person who doesn't exercise much and doesn't really gain much weight. You might need to gain weight, or you might just be, you know, at a fine spot in your life, but like you don't really get up and about much. Like, you're probably not gonna be able to pick up 20-pound weights and do 50 reps one morning. Like, that's just not gonna work out really well for you. You should probably do something that's better for your body type and what you can do based on what you've done in the past and all that. I don't know. I mean, you could just go for a walk. You could do some stretch poses. You could go and do Pilates. I don't know. I've never done Pilates before. It seems like it's just regular exercise. I don't really know. You can feel free to tell me what Pilates are. I don't know. But it's just something that people do, and it seems like it's not as intense as some workouts. If you're like me, you could probably do weightlifting pretty easily, but you might have some more issues when you go in to do some sit-ups and push-ups because you just can't really do it. That's really me, yeah. I cannot do a push-up or a sit-up to save my life. I can do some crunches, but you can't get me to do a sit-up or a push-up. But if you have a more muscular body type, then, you know, you can probably do more heavy lifting and just a lot of weight training. And if you have a more lean body type, then it's probably for the best to get up your endurance and more aerobics and things like that. And you can always combine both, and that's fine too, but you just need to find something, not what other people are necessarily doing because they have different body types from you, but find something that works best for your body, because if you try to do something that somebody with a different body type is doing, and you try to do it for your different body type, you're not going to get the same results. You might get no results. And that's not going to make you feel very great when that happens. So you just need to be aware, like, what is your bone structure like? And I mean, there's tons of different names for different body types and different bone structures, and just, it's a little bit difficult to find out. It's not exactly the easiest thing in the world to just look at some pictures of shapes and be like, oh yeah, I'm that, or I'm totally that. Like, it might take a little bit more time than that. But yeah, you have to make sure you're doing what's actually good for your specific body. Because we don't all have the same body types, we don't all have the same bone structures, and it would be sort of weird if we did, because we'd all just, it just wouldn't work as well. But yeah, so just keep that in mind, because your dream body is not what you think it is. I have to tell you the truth. It's not what you think it is. You could say, oh, I really want to lose weight. I would tell myself that. I really want to lose, a lot of weight and a lot of pounds. And I want to, be skinny and slim. And, I also, by the way, want to pack in tons of protein and, have a super, athletic build. Well, I've had to figure out that that's not really how it's going to work, because I could very well lose weight, but if I'm training my muscles and doing weightlifting and things such as that, then I'm going to gain weight because there's more weight from the muscles. It's true that I might have lost fat, but I'll still be at a greater weight. I feel like weight and fat a lot of the times are put as the same thing, but that's not really true, because you can be 6 foot tall and a super skinny person, but you might weigh 140 pounds, and you're like, well, I have to get rid of that certain amount of pounds, 20, 30, but you're super tall. So when you're tall, your fat and your weight gets different proportions between how tall and short you are. If you're 6 foot and you're 140 pounds, then yeah, you're going to be a fairly skinny person. If you're if you're 5 foot and you're 140 pounds, then you might feel like you have way too much fat and you're a really big person. So it just depends on all those different proportions. And again, what actual structure you have for your bones and your body, and how you actually look like, and how it would be healthy to maintain that sort of. I don't know. It's just, you will never, if you have the expectations that I used to have for when you exercise and diet and everything else like that, you are not going to end up with what you thought you would, or you could end up with nothing. Now, I have a pretty good morning routine that I try to stay with. I read scripture, and then I go and do my exercise. And for a long time, I was just doing random things. I was doing squats and weightlifting and whatever else my mind could think of. And, that was okay. It was getting my blood circulating, and it was making me a bit stronger. And, I would try to eat lower proportions of food and count a bunch of calories and stuff and all that. But I really don't look any different from then, when I first started, than I do now. You can look at a picture of me from last year and now, and the only thing you'll be able to tell is that I've gotten a year older. That's all you'll be able to see in the difference. And I was doing random stuff. And I was taking better care of my body and honoring my body to God than I was beforehand. And that was good. I was making some progress there. But I got very frustrated at multiple points because, I didn't have a really cool six-pack, and I didn't have really cool biceps, and I still want that because I just think it would be cool, and I love protein, and I just think it would be really cool. But that wasn't happening, and I couldn't really understand why, because I was exercising, and I was trying to take more self-control of how much I ate, but nothing was happening. And there's a few reasons for that. One, the exercises I was doing were completely random. I mean, they're fine and all, but like they were just completely random. And two, I may have been eating a lesser amount of food, but like, I don't know, like I was just taking too much thought into it, and I wasn't really enjoying it, and it was just sort of there. And another thing that you should keep in mind is that we are girls, and so we're probably going to have a bit more fat in some places that we're like, well, why is that there? And there's also not really much you can do about that. We're built in a way that we can't really change some places where we're storing fat more. Our lower bellies are just, I mean, that's just a place that we're gonna store more fat. It's just the way that we work. It's just the way that God created us. And I mean, that's just gonna be how it is. I mean, you can do as many crunches as you want and stuff, and I've done that, but it hasn't really done anything. At least for the lower belly. For our upper, like, I've seen a defined ab line, and like I can tell that I'm a bit stronger there, but like for the lower belly, you can exercise that area of your body more, but I would advise to just not worry about it as much, because it's just going to make you more frustrated. And when you get frustrated about what you're eating and how you're exercising, your hormones are going to go all wacky and whatever, because you're going to be frustrated and stressed. And the more frustrated and stressed that you are, the more fat you're going to have in your body, because I don't really know how it all works or why it works that way, but the more stressed you are, you're going to have more body fat on you. Like, everything is all out of whack, and when your internal is all out of whack, your external becomes sort of wacky. And it's not really going to help you much if you're trying to lose a bunch of weight, lose a bunch of fat, and you're so stressed about it, because nothing is going to happen. If you're all stressed about it all the time, frustrated, and just keep doing it, nothing is going to change. I have been through that, and I can tell you with certainty nothing is going to happen, because you're not doing it the right way. You need to learn that you are created in the image of God, and that you have the body type that you have, and you are beautiful, and you need to work with that before you work on what types of exercises you're going to do and what you eat. Because if you go into it stressed and frustrated, you're not going to see any results. But if you go into it with the mindset that I'm not necessarily doing this to lose weight or gain weight, or to make my body a different shape, which you can't do. I'm going into this because I don't exercise, or I eat a bunch of fast food all day long. So I need to change that, because that's not healthy for me. You need to go into it because you want to take care of your body in a good and kind way. And that doesn't include completely over-exercising and not eating enough food. The more you exercise and the more muscle you gain, you're going to actually need to eat even more food to keep up with that and to be more energized. Which I know sounds really crazy, because you have to go like on all these strict diets to lose weight and whatever. But if you have more and more weight because you have more muscle, and it's not going to work like that. You can't forever just cut your portions to this small little thing the whole time and just have it all be that. Because food gives you energy. We're supposed to eat food. If we don't eat food, we die. And so, like, we have to eat it, and we need to, like, nourish our bodies and give ourselves enough energy for the day and energy to work out. And it's okay to eat food. You have to eat it. So it's clearly okay to eat it. And you can't just feed yourselves like a couple nuts and an egg and call it a day. That's not going to be healthy for you. And you're going to be really, really hungry. And, you can probably do more dieting things the older you get. But you guys mostly should be preteens and teenagers. Like, that's not a time of your life where you should fast for a day or just eat like a granola bar. Like, you need to have more sustenance. You need to have more food. You are actively growing into adulthood. Like, you have to have something substantial. And just a little morsel of food once a day or nothing isn't gonna cut it. It's just not. You could take more time to eat healthier things, and that's good, because you should eat more healthy things. You shouldn't just eat a bunch of processed food all the time. But also, you should eat a bunch of processed food all the time. You can treat yourself to something that you really enjoy every once in a while. You don't need to be like, well, this is my last time eating ice cream. No. That would be such a pathetic life. I mean, can you imagine just, like, throwing out every single thing of ice cream and just being like, that's it, like, I'm never gonna eat sugar again? Like, you need some sugar, like, I mean, there's healthy sugars, like, in berries and fruits and stuff, but, like, you need some other sugar just for your sanity, okay? Like, you can't just get rid of it all, and especially not in this time of your life. It is only going to make things worse for your journey to stop eating, or to stop eating so much. And maybe you are eating too much, and maybe you should cut back a little bit. But maybe you also aren't eating enough, even though you think you might be eating too much. I know that's probably really complicated. It is a little bit wacky, but sometimes you don't understand what your body is trying to tell you. And also in that, sometimes you might be like, well, I feel like I ate a lot today, but my stomach is growling, so I'm hungry, and I shouldn't leave myself hungry, so I should eat something else. How much water did you have today? Just ask yourself that when you feel your stomach growling, and if you already had breakfast, lunch, and dinner, maybe a snack along the way. Why is your stomach growling? You might be a little bit thirsty. Because we're supposed to drink a lot of water. We're made up of a lot of water. So we need to replenish that water. Because what happens if we don't drink water? We will die. The same thing that happens when we don't eat food. We will die. We're supposed to drink water and eat food. So please, just stop not doing it and go grab a glass of water. Just go grab a glass of water and drink it. And at mealtime, just enjoy your meal with your family or with your friends or whatever you're doing. Just enjoy the time and don't worry about all the calories and grams of things, and just you can take into account some of those things, because there are sometimes things that are like, wow, a 5,000 calorie piece of cake. I don't think you should eat that. There's probably not such thing as a 5,000 calorie piece of cake. There could be, but that's way too much. Like, you shouldn't eat that, okay? But, like, you can eat a piece of cake, just maybe not that one. But you have to take into account all of those different things. And it is a lot to take into account. But you can take it all into account. And when you take it into account, you don't have to take it all into account. This, because then what happens? You get frustrated and you get stressed and you have to count the specific things, and then nothing's going to happen. Full circle. Because you're stressed, your hormones are imbalanced, you don't know what the heck you're doing, and suddenly all of your efforts a month later, you look exactly the same, nothing has changed, and it's all been a waste of your time. And I really don't want that to happen to any of you, because it's really upsetting when it does happen, and it's really even more frustrating and even more stress added on when it happens. And there's some things that are stressful in life or that have affected your life that you can't change. And there's some things that will just forever affect you. And that's okay, because you can learn to manage all the rest of these different things I've talked about within that. But there are some things that are out of your control. There are a lot of things with your body that you're out of control with. And you can't take control of most of the stuff that's like, I mean, you can't, again, like, I can't take off fat from my sides because I will be very, very sick and not healthy. But what I can take control of is I can lose some fat off of my front, maybe. And it's not for the point of losing fat, it's for the point of being healthy and being able to pick something up off the ground. It's not about what you look like, it's about what you're able to do. I'm not quite sure if that really makes sense, but I hope it does. But you just basically take into account, whatever you weigh with how tall you are. Because you might feel like, oh, that's a really big number, but if your height is a really big number, then maybe it doesn't actually matter that much. And you have to take into account, well, I really want an hourglass-shaped body. Well, for one thing, you could already have that, and if you do, that's just as lovely as any other body type. But sometimes all the time, you can't change your actual bone structure. You can't do that. It will not work out well for you. And so that's one thing that's not in your control. Your height really isn't in your control. And some stress isn't in your control. There's some that is and there's some that isn't. But it's pretty much half and half, honestly. You can take control of what you eat, what exercises you do, and how much you weigh. And some things of stress. Like, if you're stressed about a math problem. I'm really not a very math person, and sometimes I get really stressed about math problems. Just ask anybody in my family that question and they will tell you that I do. But you can be stressed about something in school, or you can be like, okay, let's just walk away from that for a second, take some deep breaths, take a drink of water, and just refocus on it after you've just taken a break from something. You can unstress yourself. But there's some things that may have happened to you in your life that are stressful or that have caused you grief and pain that you can't change, and that will have some effects on your body. And so you have to take that into account. You can't really stop any of that. So there's sort of two different kinds of stress. Like, there's a stress that, there's just two kinds of stress. We'll go with that. There's a psalm that I really like. It's my favorite psalm. It's Psalm 139. I do not have that whole thing in front of me because it's quite long, as most of the psalms are. But I do have one of the verses from it. Verse 15 of Psalm 139 from the NIV. My frame was not hidden from you when I was made in the secret place, when I was woven together in the depths of the earth. Throughout this whole psalm, it's sort of talking about like how, God created you while you were still in your mother's womb from conception, how he's created you from that time all up till now, and he'll still forever be creating you. And it talks about different things about that's pretty much the whole thing. And anyway, this verse specifically sort of popped out to me a couple weeks ago, I have no idea. But at some point it popped out to me. It's like, my frame was not hidden from you when I was made in the secret place. And I sort of got to thinking, I don't really know why the writer of the psalm chose the word frame, but frame to me, like the framework of a human being, that sort of seems pretty much like my skeletal structure and how I was created that way. Remember how I'm a rectangle? And that's how God created me. He created me in this specific way. And, who am I to try to change that? That's not really... I shouldn't really be trying to change that. Now, there's some things that I probably haven't done in a great way. I probably don't get as much sleep as I should, which can also affect how much fat you store. Everything does, really. But, I probably don't get as much sleep as I could. I probably stress about some things that I really don't need to be stressed about. And a lot of times I haven't exercised necessarily in the way that I need to. And there's all these different things, different life things. And, I probably haven't done the best job that I could to keep up with how God created me and what is healthiest for my body type in the way that he has created me. But I can choose to treat my body with honor, and, that maybe does include exercising and eating healthier things, but maybe it doesn't necessarily include dieting so much that I'm getting so pale and I'm sickly and I have no energy, or exercising so much that I rip my muscles every day and I look like awesome or whatever, but I'm so tired and I just flop onto my bed and just that's not a good way to take care of myself. But I've also sometimes, in a not good way of taking my care of myself, just, laid around on my bed all day and just walk down to my room every few seconds and just... That's not gonna do anything good for me either. So, there have been ways that I've really had to be okay, what am I actually supposed to do to take care of my body, and what am I actually supposed to do for my specific body type, my specific skeletal structure, how I am, how God created my body. I can't just look at what somebody else is doing and be okay, well, I'll go doing that, and then, like, I'll lose weight and I'll be healthy. I have to take into account all of these different things, and put it all together and try my best not to stress too much about it, which, I mean, we'll get stressed sometimes, okay? Like, that's just something that sort of happens, and it's okay if you do, because you sometimes will just get stressed. I will sometimes just get stressed. But we can eventually decide to put that away and just start, refresh, go, do it better next time, and not worry about little mistakes on the way. Now also, within this, you should take a day of Sabbath, a day of rest, and I would advise you just to not exercise on a day. I don't do exercise on Saturday. You should not be... It will make you very tired. And you shouldn't do, like, the same exercises necessarily each day in a row either. Because, like, if you do weight training every day in a row, like, your arms are just going to get way too tired way too fast. And it's just a good idea to take a rest day. Also, just us as girls and women, I would suggest to you, this isn't, like, a requirement. You don't have to. But I would strongly suggest you to take a certain week off not exercising. For those of you, I mean, some of you probably don't have to deal with that yet. Some of you have probably dealt with it already, and I'm there for you. But you might want to take off when you're on your period, because you don't have very high energy levels then. And let's be real, we just want to go to the pantry and grab a big old thing of chocolate and just munch it and have some ice cream and just lay around and do nothing. And that's okay for that time. Because honestly, like, in taking care of ourselves, like, it's not gonna be helpful to be exercising in that time. Like, it's not really gonna hurt anything. I mean, if you're doing too intense exercises, then it could hurt something. But it's not really gonna hurt anything to still exercise during that time. But honestly, I don't really think it's a very good idea. We should just take some time to rest. Because, again, during that time, we just don't have very high energy levels, and we need to rest up to conquer the next month. So, I just really would advise in that time, whatever day period it is. I mean, you might have that for a longer amount of time, you might have it for not very long at all, but just take some time to rest from that, because you're not going to be feeling very good when you're doing that. When you're on that, or whatever, I don't know what I'm saying. But the point is, just take some rest in that time, because you're gonna be able to feel so much better when you go in and exercise another day and do this stuff another day. It's the same thing when you take one specific day off to rest. Like, you need some days to rest, and in that time, you need a few more days to take off rest. And it's fine for you to do that, because it's just, yeah. You're gonna be tired and not feeling well. So just take some time off from that. All the point of this is to say that there's some key takeaways sort of from this. God has created us in his image, and he has created each of our bodies individually in a specific way, and so we need to be aware of how to care for ourselves in those specific ways, for us specifically. We also can't control how he created us, because he created us for a reason, and he created us in a specific way for probably some specific reason, if you know it or not yet. And we can't control some things that happen to us, and we can't really control our bones. I mean, we can't. They're bones. They're going to be however big or small they are, and God created them in a reason for some way, and that's just that. And yeah, just take care of yourself how you're supposed to take care of yourself. Don't take care of yourself how somebody else is supposed to take care of themselves, because everybody has different needs, everybody has a different body, and we need to be aware of that. And also, in all of that, just be aware that no matter, you are a beautiful daughter, child of God, and he created you in a beautiful image, in his image, and there's nothing more beautiful. And what is inside of you matters to what shows on the outside, and what is on the outside will clearly change throughout your life, and that's fine. And just don't worry about necessarily what you look like, but just work with how you were created. Work with yourself, and don't work against yourself, because when you work against your body is so much more going to be working against you, and it's just not gonna work. And yeah, so just don't put so much stress on yourself to look a specific way, because again, there are so many things that you can't control within the things that you can control within that. And just do the best you can to care for yourself and be healthy, and just live a life that is for God and towards God and honors God. And you'll probably be pretty good. So there's a bunch of different things that go within all of this. I'm going to, of course, go deeper in different videos about many different things just on their own and that coincide with this, because I can't really just leave you with just that. Like, there's a lot more things. What sorts of different body types are there, and how should you exercise, and like what exercises are there, and how should you balance how you eat, and I mean, there's loads of different stuff that I can talk about. So, but for now, I'm just gonna leave you with that you're beautiful, and you also still need to take care of yourself. And it's not in one way this or that, it's more of meeting in the middle of all that. So yeah, if you have any questions, you can comment, or you can email me at beautifuldaughters99@gmail.com. You can check out my Instagram. It's beautifuldaughters99, and I think that's pretty much it. You can subscribe and like if you want to. You can share it with your friends if you want to. You don't have to, but I mean, it would be nice. I think you should. But with that being said, I hope that at least some of this was helpful for you in some way, and I will do my best to continue making more videos, and you can just have all of it sort of build on each other and go through the whole thing, and hopefully, yeah, it'll just, yeah. I'm out of words. So, with all that, do whatever you want with this, and goodbye.